What is reverse swing?
Well, I suppose in its simplest form, reverse swing for me is a way to swing the slightly older ball that hasn't swung conventionally. So really and truly, you get it. Well, that's why it happens because you don't get a lot of swing, as we've seen out in the subcontinent. So you get the ball into a state. So conventional swing, if that's the shiny side, if you're a right-hander sitting at home, you're going to see the ball come like this to you. It's going to go away from you. Whereas actually with reverse swing, the shiny side is going to be on the same side, but it's going to go the other way. As a right-hander, it will come back into you. So that really, in its simplest form, is what reverse swing is. Why it's so important, because you don't get any normal swing out in a lot of places. You get on a nice sunny day, even in England. So you need to find a way to get the ball to do something.
Well, we have seen reverse swing in this game, and this was today. This was Wahab to Joe Root. Ball going across Joe. If we highlight the ball at close quarters, if I pause it there, so you've got the shiny side on the left, so if it was normal swing, it would be going, get this right, going into Joe. As it is, it's going across, and it's going that way. The other thing is, Rob, it's starting to swing halfway down the pitch, which is a little bit later than normal.
Well, and that's why bowlers love it as well, because they can really let it fly, and it goes that little bit later than conventional swing, especially the in-swinger to the right-hander or to the left-hander. It just goes. You think it's going straight, whack, it goes in and drops on you.
Waqar actually said to me years ago that the other reason that bowlers like it when it reverse swings is it does it consistently. Sometimes normal swing can be a bit inconsistent. Reverse swing does it consistently. What not to do when facing the ball that is reverse swinging? If I just pause it there. Imran Khan, so right armour, and he's going to try and go back into Joe Root.
Yeah, as 99% of reverse swing to right-handers, right-handed batsmen from the right armour goes into you, and they're trying to get you LBW and bowled. And the one thing you have to be careful of is the fact that you don't cross over. This front foot doesn't lunge across. The ball darts in late, and you get yourself in trouble. Imran Khan actually bowled a really good spell at Joe Root early on today, and Joe Root, just on a couple of occasions, he got away with it, but just got the wrong side of the ball. That's what the bowler's looking for, just to trap you in front. You had short legs and leg gullies where you just want the batsman falling over onto the offside. The ball comes in a little bit. That is what you have to combat yourself, or stop yourself from doing.
Matt is waiting over for us in the zone. Come on, Keezy, let's go over there. Just explain what Rob has just said there. Why is that a bad position for Joe to get into when he's facing reverse swing and it's coming in?
Well, I think the first big point is the fact that reverse swing does go so late. So what you don't want to be doing is going across. And the second thing, as Rob just mentioned, is 19% of the balls are coming into the stumps. That's the attacking delivery. So what you're looking for as a batsman, or what you're not looking to do, is make, you know, you hear about a lot of people saying, right, get a big stride to the ball, get a big stride forward. Against reverse swing bowling, you do not want to be doing that. You want to be small, little movements so you can make adjustments. The second thing is, because the majority of the deliveries are going to come into you, you want to cover your stumps. That's the dangerous delivery. So what I tended to do was actually move across. If I was batting on middle stump, I tend to move across to off stump, because that allowed me then to play very straight. That's all you're looking to do, is go up and down off stump. The great reverse swing bowlers could take the ball away as well, but that's not the danger, because as we've seen even in this game, these slow wickets, if it catches an outside edge, it usually will drop short. So what you're looking to do, very simply, is eyes right level, looking down, and you're staring for the ball. Where is the ball? Which way is it going to go? The minute you see it track in, it's a small movement, open up, and play very straight. If you watch Alistair Cook, how he's gone about his work this morning, he's done that brilliantly. The other thing I'll mention, reverse swing is difficult if you don't know which way it's going. However, there is a trick. As a batsman, you're looking at the ball all the time when the bowler's running in. Because if you can pick the side, if you can pick which side is the shiny side, which side is the rough side, you're ahead of the game. You know it's coming in, or you know it's going away, and you can adjust.
We'll come back to that in a minute. Always two ways of doing things. Matt goes across. What do you do?
Yeah, I would go the opposite. I would actually
Funny that for you, Key.
Yeah, well, no, but I would go onto leg stump, actually, because I wouldn't want to get the wrong side of the ball again. And I mean, that way, Matt's a better player than me, so he backs himself to hit it. I would sort of give myself a bit of room. So when that ball comes in, then I'm sort of giving myself the leg side of the ball, which I think Alistair Cook did. When you watch him face Wahab, he's on leg stump, so he can just stay this side of the ball.
Just to be key on length as well, because we see Wasim and Waqar, and it's all Yorkers. It was stumps flying everywhere and people breaking their toes. Nowadays, bowlers aren't always going for the Yorkers. They're just dragging it back to skip it off the back of a length.
I think that's a really good point, and a good point for a lot of young bowlers first learning the art of reverse swing, the first thing they want to do, they've seen the footage, it's 90-mile-an-hour Yorkers, but actually it's length, running in and hitting length. Played a lot of cricket with Run and Aved at Sussex, and he was brilliant at reverse swing, and he went both ways, away from the bat and into the bat. But the key was the lengths he bowled. If you're just going full, again, as a batsman, you can adjust to that, and it becomes quite easy. If suddenly you get a short ball or back of a length, that's a different thing, because you're looking at different parts of the wicket.
I mean, Rana, am I right thinking you would have seen it as a keeper? He would have bowled a lot quicker with a reverse swinging ball than a conventionally swinging ball. Is that fair?
He did, and I think it's for that reason you made earlier, is that he felt much more confident that he could
knew
control
where it was going, yeah.
how much swing there was and exactly where it was going. The other thing Rana did actually was, so as a batsman, you're staring at the ball, trying to find out, and you go, right, OK, I've picked it, it's going to be the in-swinger. But as he's about to deliver it, he would flick the ball around. And then bowl it, and the amount of times I saw guys, right, that's going away, and leave it, and suddenly it's come back in, castled, and they think, how on earth does that happen?
You mentioned watching the ball, though, and trying to decide where the rough side is, where the shiny side is. Jimmy Anderson hides the ball. What do you do then? Here's Jimmy running in, he's got the ball covered, he's in his right hand, he's got it covered in his left hand, and you're only seeing it at the very last minute.
So what you have to do is you have to trust that you're going to pick... So what you're doing is just staring for the ball, because he is going to show it to you, and there it is. Now, that's the earliest sign as a batsman that you get, and you can see the rough side is on the outside there. So that ball is going to go away from me. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust yourself, and as a batsman, you are staring so hard, even as he's running in, because as you've just seen, Jimmy Anderson there covering the ball, but you know at some stage he's going to have to move his hands, they're going to have to separate, and that's your first sign of getting, right, OK, that's the side, it's going in or it's going away, and you're ready, as I say, you're ahead of the game and you can play it. Just
to compare how Jimmy does it when he's bowling with the new ball, normal swing, doesn't cover it, so you get a good sight of where the seam is all the way down his run-up.
Yeah, and I think the main reason, a lot of people will say, well, why doesn't he cover it? Because he swings it both ways with the orthodox swing. It's a lot harder to pick. You can see that the older ball there, when you do get it really dry, it almost, the rough side looks pink in colour, so it is easier to pick, whereas with a nice new shiny Duke that's swinging both ways, the ball's really dark, so it's very hard to pick from the ball which way it's going to swing. Let's
show you how Wahab Riaz does it, because he's been bowling the ball with reverse. He actually carries it, Rob, in his other hand and then transfers it across. Do you get a slightly earlier look at this, though? Well,
yeah, as Matt said, it just does stand out a lot more, the shiny side, because the other side is so scuffed up, you can tell. So you just have to almost, as he says, just completely blank out half his run-up, and then you just look there. That's the point. You go, right...
But that's a bit earlier than Jimmy.
Yeah, and you'll just see something and you think... The problem I always had is trying to work out what's conventional reverse and what swings that way. Sometimes they said the non-striker... Dave Thornton said to me, as non-striker, see what hand he puts it in and then hold the bat in that one for what way it's going to swing. And I got in such a muddle, I just guessed.
Waqar, we've just done pace like fire. This is how he hid the ball. Now... I'm not sure you can pick up any clues from this.
So what makes the best the best? So we're looking now, as a batsman, you're trying to hunt for the ball, he never shows it to you. And that, right there, is the first time you get a glimpse of the ball, and that's right as on release point. So your margin for error and your time as a batsman, because we're talking about split seconds here. So the difference between seeing the ball on load-up and seeing the ball on release is huge. You're missing out on so much time as a batsman to pick up those cues. And Waqar obviously studied this, he practiced it, because in his delivery stride, as he releases, he turns, and he's still hiding the ball. You get no sight of it until that release point.
Was it a bit like Malinga as well? He's similar.
Well, and the difference between them, actually, as well, Waqar and Malinga even more so, is where they deliver the ball from. Because of that slingy, low action, it meant that almost you saw the ball sort of, even when it was coming back into you, the first, because of that slingy arm, you almost saw the ball go away from you and then come back in late. And it was always gun barrel straight. So, yeah, those two in particular are really tough because of that low arm.
Well, the other thing with Wasim and Waqar is they were both bowling at 90 miles an hour in their pomp. Now, this is Wasim Akram bowling to our good friend Michael Afton, who we should be speaking to shortly. Or have some of that. So you can't prop on the front stool because you could get your head blown off.
Well, this is it. So now the ball's reversing. As a batsman, you've got all this going on in your mind. As Rob says, right, what side is it? Which is the shiny side? Is it coming in? Is it coming away? But what you're doing is you're trying to protect your stumps. So, right, I've got to get a good stride in. You know, all of these things. Suddenly there's a bouncer, hits you on the head, and you're like, all right, where's that come from? Because you're just focusing about everything that's going on here. So change-up of length is very important.
As if by magic, Michael Atherton, the man who has just been pummeled there by Wasim Akram in that grainy old footage, appears in our wall. Hello, Ath. Just how difficult was it to face those two in their pomp?
It was a great challenge. They were a fantastic pair of bowlers, obviously a great contrast, right arm, left arm. They were excellent with the new ball. They could both swing the new ball, but really the skill, I think, that set them apart.